Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Yes, we're live. Yep. Okay, I won't have to tell you to say something so they can see you this time.
Nope. They can just look at my ugly post-gym face.
Well, the coughing is what did it.
Yeah.
But hey, everybody, we're here together again for first time in a little bit, I guess. I don't know. I did a solo video, so my perception of time is skewed. We're here to talk about Dota 2. Been a bonkers week between Captain's Draft 4.0 and the lingering collapse of everything related to the Galaxy Battles Major. We're going to talk about that and maybe other stuff if we feel like it. So we'll see how it goes. But start off, Captain's Draft.
Yeah, I'll admit, I was not able to watch a whole lot of it. Just the last week's been kind of crazy for me. Dealing with a blizzard and a half and all that other stuff. So, but that said, other than apparently the first day that they were in the armory when it was so cold that even the players were wearing coats while playing, which I did see. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, I watched a little bit of.
Let me cut you off real quick because you are on street now. So hop back in.
All right, 1 second. I will be right back to the call.
All right. Yeah, so the event itself took place in the Washington, D.C. Armory, which not really a traditional kind of event venue. Ended up still being a fun tournament to watch, but added to the character of the event, I guess. Ended up having players, as you mentioned, playing in heavier coats to make sure that they didn't freeze, and there were hand warmers aplenty. All right, you're back. Say your piece.
So, people were talking about how, just give it to Secret already, and there were all the memes, and I did catch snippets of the rather cringeworthy panels at times.
Yeah,
and to be fair, I've also I've made my statements about a couple members of Moonduck, so I intentionally turn off the channel when they're on the screen, because in their own words, if you don't like us or if you don't like the broadcaster, don't watch. So fine, I'll take your advice. I won't watch your stuff. But anyways, so other than some of that, like the What the Horse was kind of cute with the football player, Dota guy, whatever. And like some of those like Dota Cinema meme things were okay, but then I also saw some of like when they must have put slacks on 4 cups of coffee and just let him loose and told him to go to 110%. It's like, that's too much slacks for me.
Yeah, it was I mean, I'm not opposed to kind of campy, I guess would be.
Yeah. And it's not that I, dislike, I know that there are plenty of people out there that like slacks. It was a little bit much for me, which is why I didn't, again, that's something that people kind of, especially now that we're getting more and more and more content and more stuff, is if you don't like something, vote with your wallet or vote with your views.
Right. Yeah.
And so I'll mute slacks or turn them off because when he's getting too far, because sorry.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely have found myself really more appreciating the ESLs and such.
Yeah.
Than the captain's drafts, summits to a lesser degree.
Yeah, especially the summit, as they push more and more to try and outdo themselves. It's like, no, just go back to it being a casual event. Well, yeah, casual. You're still playing for money, obviously.
Yeah, quote unquote casual.
Yeah, go back to that stuff and do a proper,
have a fun,
semi-proper broadcast, and don't try to meme too hard. Also, Cinderin and Sunsfan for the finals. You're casting a Valve minor. Watch your language.
Yeah, that
that is my biggest pet peeve in casting in Dota is how many expletives we let through. I get it. I've been there. I've made those mistakes, but especially a Valve event. Come on. And also there were some set of jokes that went on that were apparently very close to some things that got James fired from the Shanghai Major. So, I saw that on Twitter and I was like, okay.
I actually didn't witness whatever you're discussing, so I can't.
I don't know, but I saw people talking about how like this is the kind of thing that got people fired, in the past. What the hell? And it's like, well, one, it's a little bit different, but two, I mean, I honestly don't know. I missed exactly what it was, but when you've got people talking about that,
not good.
You do need to have some consideration. That said, I saw that, like there was a Meepo in the finals. That's cool. That's the stuff that you get out of Captain's Draft. And quite frankly, it seemed fun. The results seemed relatively predictable, not in a bad way, but in a, if these teams had played Captain's Draft versus regular draft, things would have stayed pretty similar.
Yeah. I should note that I did up a recap of this, and basically everything panned out exactly how you would have expected, with Secret winning, Vici Gaming coming in second, Mineski and OG coming in third, fourth. That's 100% predictable. And Secret was the obvious favorite. Vici Gaming, I would have put them as the number 2 best team in that tournament. Then Mineski and OG next behind them.
The only one there is OG maybe being 5th with like complexity ahead of them. If OG was a little weaker and complexity was hotter on that day. And then, if my sources are correct, I even saw it on Twitter somewhere, so it's not like I got this like secret information. This was the Evil Geniuses' first time playing together, period.
And they
were supposed to do a boot camp, and they didn't.
Yeah.
Or maybe they didn't have time or whatever, but they, point being is that Evil Geniuses' first time they played as a team all in one location was Captain's Draft.
Yeah, and they did look generally pretty good. Their tournament ended in the first round of the playoffs. They went 2-1 in the group stages.
Not too bad.
No, not bad. They beat Complexity and Pain and dropped an earlier series to Complexity to get second place in their group. Ended up splitting the first 2 games against Secret 2-1. And they looked generally good. Yeah,
and again, losing to Team Secret.
Nothing.
Is there anything to be ashamed of? No, other than congratulations, you got them in the wrong spot.
Yeah. You're sounding correctly again, though.
Yeah. Let me 1 second. Let me try this.
Yeah, I'll talk while sure we don't have too much dead air. But yeah, EG. I mean, their new lineup. If this is going to be the early barometer, can't complain. Misery filling in, basically, quote unquote, replacing Universe. Yeah, I mean, there's nothing really complaining about. It was an exceptionally tough crowd too, like a tough field of competition too.
Definitely.
Like this was a minor, but that was a pretty strong lineup of teams for a minor. And with like events like MDL Macau, I think had a fairly soft. Yeah, MDL Macau had a pretty soft lineup. Other minors have had pretty soft lineups. This one, nah, man. This was
definitely.
And EG looked pretty good against them. So
So really quickly, am I better? Not really.
You sound perfect.
Okay, yeah. So I figured out what it was. There was something that had been running too long on the computer and causing some hardware issues.
Oh, okay. But yeah, so DG looked generally pretty darn good. This is also an important event for Mineski as well. Mineski, they got off to a white hot start to the season and then disappeared for an extended period of time, both in terms of not competing in tournaments and losing in qualifiers for tournaments. This was actually their first LAN since something like
October?
World Master. Yeah, so at some point in October.
Yeah, and the thing to note, though, with Mineski is they had taken time off for personal reasons. And then on top of that, there were a couple tournaments that they then weren't going to be able to make because they had already lost, in qualifiers for. So, it had been a while, and it was nice to be reminded of just how good they are.
Yeah, I mean, we've seen teams have 2 really good weeks, and ultimately, if you're going to be kind of hard on them, you would say, yeah, they had a good month. And then that was it. But not just a good month anymore.
Nope.
Them taking 4th place, that's a good thing. That's a very good thing, and it speaks well to their actual staying power at this point. So, yeah, they have to be, even though they didn't take the top prize, and even though they ultimately got bumped 2-0 by Team Secret, they needed some points, and they got them, and they looked pretty good in the process.
Definitely.
And same thing goes for OG as well. You know, they had a really bad start to the season, and they've kind of like bounced back a little bit of late. But, you know, if they could have lost momentum over Christmas, yeah, they got first place at MDL Macau, which was kind of out of nowhere, but also kind of not, because you never know with OG. But
yeah, and that's the truth.
Yeah, them taking a top 4 finish here, that's a good thing. That speaks well to them holding up down the line. And yeah, Pain Gaming, South American team, got their shit kicked, which, you know, not surprising. Still looking for a South American team that can not lose all the time. Complexity could have done better, but they also, again, stiff competition, and they did take a win over EG, so they didn't walk away empty-handed, I guess. Not much else to say on the tournament in my mind, though.
No, not really.
Actually,
said, I mean,
well, about before the grand finals, like in terms of
yeah,
like filler.
Honestly, the grand finals is worth watching. It was a best of 5. It went to all 5. Every game was all over the place. Again, only issue is just, Sunspan, I love you, but you have got to work on your professionality when you are commentating. His professionality when he's on an analyst desk or on a filler's couch.
Professionalism.
But really, like, I mean, I get it. Like, people are going to laugh at me for expecting professionalism from a casting company, but at the same time, when it's a Valve event, I'd like to see a little bit of it. And I think that he and Cinderin got a little bit too memey during the finals, and in Game 5, they just really kind of got off track for a bit, and it made it hard to watch for me personally.
Yeah, I will say that the games themselves were actually quite exciting, but in a strange way. So you said it went all 5, and it was not a traditional best of 5. Vici Gaming kind of kicked the shit out of Team Secret for 4 of those games. And in games 1 and games 4, Team Secret ended up pulling off just absurd comebacks. Like, I will quickly pull up the Dota buff charts so you can see what I'm talking about for all of our people who are listening through video, which is everyone, because I'm only posting this on YouTube these days. Screen share. Bam. Okay, so can you see that?
I can, yes.
Yeah, that was game 4. And game 3 game 1 was pretty much the exact same thing. Vici Gaming had a colossal lead in both games 1 and 4, and ended up punting both of them.
Yeah, I watched some of 4, like the tail end, and 5, where we saw the throws. But then we also saw in game 3, which I did see a little bit of, was the throw by Secret.
Yeah,
where, yeah, I really don't know what else to say about that other than, well, yeah.
I mean, I wouldn't even say it was that much of a throw, because again, when you look at the charts, it was pretty even steadily heading in Vici Gaming's favor the entire time. Like, really, really 100% Secret should have lost this in 3. And instead ended up
maybe lost it in 4.
I
don't know, because I think that game 3, Secret really shouldn't have lost. So
I would kind of disagree with that.
Fair.
Yeah, I mean, you go down the numbers, Vici Gaming was pretty much in command the entire time. Granted, there were opportunities for Secret, but yeah, I mean, even if you give them, one game, this was Vici's series 100%. And they just handed it over. They gift wrapped it. Ultimately, though, it came down to game 5, and game 5 was kind of won on a cheesy last pick Meepo, which was played by Secret's Ace. And Meepo game. A traditional ideal Meepo game, I should say. A traditional Meepo game for most of us would be, somebody picking it and then really playing poorly. But in the pro scene, he had a good Meepo game, got the mid-game farm, snowballed really hard from there, and then just ran over everybody. So that ended up being good for Secret. Ended up taking home the top prize, which in this case was an enchanted mango-themed trophy, and ultimately got the 150 in the Dota Pro circuit.
Oh, so yeah, no, I realized because I had watched, like I said, I watched 4 and 5, but I went over the match IDs for all of them, and I mixed up games 2 and 3.
Oh, okay.
So game 2 was the one where at about 25 minutes there was that team fight that they just, I mean, they won, but then they just kind of, that was the beginning of the end for them, and just it kind of got worse from there. So in that time frame, they had a chance to really make a difference for themselves, but didn't get the push power when they needed it. That I thought was game 3, because like I said, as great as Dota Buff is, when you're not paying attention because you're whipping through it quickly, you miss things like which game happened when.
Yeah. So again, Secret took home 150 qualifying points. They are now further in first place over Team Liquid and Virtus Pro, who are tied in second. And with that, the 3 and 4 once again were Mineski and OG. OG gives the top 8 a bit more buffer from the 9th down. Just as an example, 630 points for OG, 315, I should say, for 9th place Na'Vi. EG ends up moving down from 5th place to 7th place on the season, with Mineski and Vici Gaming now tied for 5th with 810 or 270 points per player.
I think I agree with that. I mean, in terms of again, we've been talking about, okay, pro circuit, where do we feel that it stands in terms of, the rankings?
How accurate a reflection is it of the team's quality? And right now, it's super duper accurate in my mind.
Yeah. Give me the rankings. There we go. Secret, Liquid, Virtus Pro, Newbie, 100%.
That's your top 4.
Although maybe Mineski over Newbie, 4-5 would be a little bit close for me. But at the same time, I feel like Vici Gaming, actually, Newbie should be 6th, Mineski should be 4th, and Vici should be 5th.
Yeah, in my mind, it's Secret, Liquid, and Virtus Pro tier 1.
Yep.
Newbie, Mineski, Vici Gaming tier 2. Then kind of everybody else below them. And I mean, from there, I mean, if you ran a tournament with EG, OG, Na'Vi, TNC, Fnatic, LGD, Complexity, LGDFY, Immortals, Kingwin, and World, I mean, I would say that you're gonna get different winners pretty much every time.
Yeah.
I think that the top 2 tiers are pretty rigid in terms of those top 6, and then everybody else can fight for whatever's left. And I'm
inclined to agree with that.
That's how it's looking on the rankings too. So
yeah, so that 7-8 slot is still really up in the air. At this point, I'm waiting to see what happens with. We need to get that, and the fact that Galaxy Battles is no longer a Valve event. This might be the perfect break for another free agent period.
Yes, which we're actually seeing a bit.
Because we're starting to see some things where things need to change. And it's, yeah.
Yeah, we are seeing some shakeups in terms of player movement. We've got, as we were discussing before the show, we've got the Big God team is back, which was Zhao 8's old kind of free agenty type team. He's with Burning, Ferrari, and a couple other guys. Then a new Soxa stack after the collapse of Mitterfeed with Team World, which is Anna, Forev, SVG, Soxa, and Keyser, which is a very, very good lineup. Then we have a new NA stack with Ritsu, Moon Meander, AUI, and 2 other dudes. Now, if they can click, I could see them getting into a couple tournaments just because it's kind of a crapshoot depending on the invites in North America. And some other plug and play options in other teams as well, particularly over in China. So there is a lot of movement happening, and could be some good stuff coming.
Definitely.
Anything else we want to say on Captain's Draft?
Nope. Again, from what I heard and what I saw, the brain, the other than it being single elimination, the format was very well received. There we go. That's what I was trying to say. Captain's mode.
I could post my usual spiel about
No. I'm just saying what I saw online. I'm not saying how I personally feel about it being single elimination. We've talked about that plenty. I'm just saying in terms of what I saw on Twitter and everything else, a lot of people getting mad about that. But quite frankly, again, I think that I would like to see Captain's Draft maybe 2 minors a year or 3. Maybe like not a whole lot, but just enough variety sprinkled throughout that it spices things up in the minors. I don't want to see a Captain's Draft major. And I certainly don't want to see a Captain's Draft TI. If we're doing that, give me like single draft where everybody only has 3 heroes to pick from. Like if we're gonna go weird at TI, go all out weird at TI.
I'm still fully on board for an all random minor.
Actually, I would 100% be down for the low
ability draft minor,
where everybody has to do single draft, and they're not allowed to talk to their teammates during the drafting phase. Give me that as a minor or a major or even the international. Simulate that ranked experience.
That'd be fun.
But yeah, no, in all seriousness, modes seem to be well received. I certainly enjoyed watching it. When I could catch it, I'll probably go back and watch some of the VODs.
I'll note that at least for me, it was kind of lacking in the wackiness department in terms of the heroes that came out. We didn't see Pudge. We didn't see Techies. We saw just the one Meepo game, which came at a pretty opportune time, but didn't see too much wackiness. Still saw plenty of Medusa. Still saw pretty normal lineups, which it speaks to Dota's competitive balance, I guess.
Yeah,
but yeah, it wasn't the batshit insanity that I was hoping it would be. Just have to keep holding out for my all random minor or something.
And again, like I think that we really should have been expecting closer to what we got in terms of it being a little bit narrower, a little bit more.
Yeah.
And again, like when you're playing for this much money and points and everything, do it.
Yeah, you got to kind of reel it in if you've got actual stakes to the tournament. It's not like Midas mode or something,
Hey, we're just going to donate all of our winnings to charity because this doesn't matter at all. Which, I punch my desk. Props to them for doing charity. But again, like, it was an online meme tournament.
Yeah, basically. So do you want to talk about Galaxy Battles?
Yeah. Okay. So, I
did my video on it. It was 20 minutes.
Watch this video. Or watch some of it, or don't watch it at all. Doesn't really matter.
And you should like, comment, and subscribe on it too.
Yep. That's right. There are all the TBDs. Okay. So Galaxy Battles 2. What was that? Earlier this week, like the
Thursday was when Valve put out the notice.
Yeah, Thursday, Valve put out a notice saying that because the Philippines, want too much from the players, we will no longer be involved with the event. It is no longer, they can, feel free to have the event, but we're no longer going to be putting any Valve money towards it, nor will they be getting any points for this. And seeing as this was a major, it's kind of a big deal. So that's however many points out the window.
Yeah. 1,500.
Dota Pro circuit. So unless another one comes along, you're gone. However, the interesting thing to note is that, for the most part, people are talking about, it's probably the drugs, because the Philippines, we pulled up the requirement, and the Philippines requires a drug test for all players entering the country.
Yep. And ESPN's Paulo Bago, who lives in the Philippines and does some of their Dota coverage, I believe.
Yep.
obtained a statement from the Philippines Games and Amusements Board, which do some sanctioning type stuff for any kind of sporting event, including esports there. And they basically said, yes, these are required from people who are entering the country.
Yeah. And
these being drug tests.
Drug tests and everything else. And so a lot of people are going, oh, you know, all of our stoners can't go and compete now. It's like, okay, first of all, if that was actually going to be the case, we would have heard the players complaining about this a long ass time ago.
You sound super crackly, by the way.
Okay.
Oh, never mind. It fixed itself just now.
Okay. So yeah, I just got to talk into the microphone.
Okay.
Also buy a new one. So anyways, point being is that it's a major. If you smoke weed, you're going to stop smoking it for a few weeks before, get it out of your system, not smoke it while you're in the Philippines, and then just when you get home, hit up a massive bowl or something. I don't know. But I do know that the players would take this seriously enough not to risk getting thrown in jail in the Philippines.
Ultimately...
Or I think the players would have made a bigger stink about it before 2 weeks before the event.
Yeah, it is kind of weird because on the one hand, these regulations have been in place for literally for years. Like these are not new. Yeah. They predate Duterte because people were kind of like, you know, talking about that. And obviously he doesn't help given the fact that he's an insane despot who, you know, apparently has a police force that drag people out of their homes and shoot them in the streets. I can't really complain about that these days as Americans, but it's still bad.
Anyways, let's not to get too political here, but so anyways, it predates this. It's been around for all the other Philippines tournaments. Whether or not it was well enforced, blah blah blah, doesn't matter.
Stay focused on the microphone.
What I heard in one place, and only one place, and so I have a hard time, I haven't been able to verify this, was somebody said that the players were being told that they had to give up their social media logins. Not just like, hey, we have to see what your social media is, but you have to give us the passwords to all of your social media accounts.
That's not good.
I heard this one place and one place only, but like, talk about a reason to say, oh, hell no. So again, like I am definitely inclined to believe that it has to do with the drugs more than the social media, but I wouldn't be surprised if it was both or if there was something else entirely that nobody knows about.
Yeah, ultimately, it's a situation where one, if it is the drugs, then this is really just the latest example of gross oversight on Valve's part. And how long have Dota tournaments been like a pretty frequent occurrence in the Philippines?
Since Dota 1.
Yeah, we've had
not Western, but point.
Yeah, we've had a lot of Dota tournaments in Manila. Like we've had the Manila Major, we've had ESL 1 Manila, we've had Manila Masters. Down the list. If Valve was onto something, like they probably should have been talking about this years ago, because if it is what you said, then that is kind of a game changer. But even then, I mean, are we going to stop hosting tournaments in the United States?
Well, let us not forget, because tickets are supposedly going on sale very soon in Canada. TI8, Vancouver. I expect that you'll be there.
Maybe. Vancouver is a trek for me.
You're in Canada. Everything's a trek. I know this because I live in Maine, and everything's a trek here too.
Yeah.
So let's be honest. But no, in all seriousness, Valve's hosting it in Canada for whatever reason. Doesn't matter.
Hasn't actually been confirmed yet, has it?
Yeah, it's been confirmed.
Oh, awesome.
Not by Valve, but it's been confirmed.
Oh, okay.
So the venue itself confirmed that TI8 is being hosted there on X weekend.
Wonderful.
Yeah. So, that makes me happy. That's that. Yeah. So,
everybody can come in well, I shouldn't really brag too much about the border guard because I've had my own issues with them in the past.
Yes, you have.
So yeah, Galaxy Battle Major is not happening. The biggest thing for me is that this does hurt like every other tournament in January, because like the Captain's Draft 4.0 did not have Liquid participating on any level. It did not have Virtus Pro participating on any level. Presumably, I would be willing to guess, because they were looking to focus all their efforts on Galaxy Battles.
Yeah.
So denying them that opportunity at points is really bad. But also, this gives even less incentive if you're a tournament organizer to go into Dota 2, because this is another example of Valve just being like, fuck all you guys. They did that with the Boston Major. They did that with other events, and they are making a Dota tournament a riskier and riskier endeavor by the week, basically. And
Yes,
when the Dota Pro circuit really 100% needs tournament organizers to get on board in order to function on any level, you need to get your shit together, Valve.
Yeah, no, definitely. And I don't know what to say. I really don't. Like, we need more. This is one of those times. Normally, I'm like, yeah, you know what? We're not getting a whole lot of info from Valve, but it'll be okay. Right now, I am 100% Valve. Get your shit together. We need more.
Yeah. I mean, there's no real way to defend Valve on this, because, again, lying to us, and if they're lying to us, then, fuck them. And I'm swearing now. But yeah, get your shit together, Valve. Long story short. This was both foreseeable and avoidable.
Yeah, 100%.
So,
at the very least, let's pretend that Valve is 100% a good guy here. Let's say that Valve was fighting for the players. Let's say that the Philippines were actually being super, super improper with what they wanted. Let's say that they wanted, I don't know, blood samples from every player, but they wanted to do it themselves, and all this other ridiculous stuff. I'm making stuff up here, but let's say that Valve was going to bat for the players and trying to help them and protect them. Valve should have said that they are should have said something at the very least to the event organizers. This is what's going on with the government. We're up to bat for the players. You need to be up to bat for the players too.
Yeah, because Galaxy Battles,
we haven't gotten shit from Valve up until, by the way, everyone, this is no longer a major. We don't care. Goodbye.
Yeah, pretty much.
So that's
Galaxy Battles, should note, did put out a statement basically saying they support everybody. Don't get mad at us. Yeah. And please don't ask for a refund.
Yeah, because there are some spectators who are pissed because they were traveling long distances to see teams that have now bailed, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And we still don't know what teams are going to compete. Right now, we've got 8 teams still there.
Yeah, we've had the list of teams that have pulled out currently stands as Virtus Pro, Team Secret, Team Liquid, Optic Gaming, Newbie, Mineski, and Kingwin. It's not actually listed on the Liquipedia, but Kingwin is also out.
Yeah.
At least that was posted on Twitter by one of their players. So, and this really especially sucks for some of the teams that are sticking around. Like, let's say Pain Gaming somehow just fell into a top 4 spot. That makes them suddenly really good looking this season. Same with Team Spirit. Same with Vici Gaming J Thunder, to be more realistic. TNC. If any of those teams, LFY, TNC, EG, Thunder, if any of them happened to end up top 4, that would have been a really effing huge deal for them. And that's off the table. Which brings us to our next actual tournament that is happening and is still officially recognized by Valve and will be, hopefully be going great, is ESL 1 Genting, which takes place in Malaysia. Right after 16 teams, qualifying points on the line this time instead of the usual 300. Pretty strong lineup of teams with Virtus Pro, Liquid, Newbie, Mineski, EG, Secret, and Fnatic receiving direct invites, and a fairly normal lineup of qualifying teams in LFY, Vici Gaming J Thunder, Penta Sports, Planet Dog, which we'll see what happens with them because they've had some roster shakeups, Navi, TNC, Complexity, and SG Esports.
So I would like to comment very briefly here that Planet Dog has accepted the logo on the Wikipedia site is the logo for a main-based dog company called Planet Dog. And they did, in fact, have their lawyers send a cease and desist letter to Planet Dog. So the team is not using that logo. The team is using a really crappy paint logo, but it's better than getting sued. So that's not the actual logo. Just keep that in mind for those who remember me pitching a fit about it before. It's been addressed. Mostly.
Yeah, local pride and such. I
have huge local pride.
Huge local pride.
Loves that store.
Trees and Moose and Planet Dog.
Yes, trees, moose, and dogs.
Yep. But yeah, Genting is going to be important again. Get some more reps in from the new EG lineup. Get some potential points on the board for teams that are on the fringe of the top 8, like TNC, like Fnatic, like Na'Vi. Like, it'll be a good tournament, and hopefully.
Something that I just thought of is if ESL was smart, they would be reaching out to Valve right now and saying, hey, can we put up another $300,000 and turn this into a major? I'm just saying, the press that they would get for that and everything else, the prestige for this event would go through the roof, and they've got time.
They do have some time. They got a couple of weeks.
So like if I was ESL 1, if I was, whoever is in charge of ESL 1 Genting, I would have, as soon as I heard that Galaxy Battles 2 was dead, I would have hauled ass my boss's office and said, look, we have a chance to be the major for the month of January. Get more Valve support, get more Valve money, get more everything in terms of just view. Obviously, it's going to cost them more money as well. But it would look good for ESL because they would be hosting the first major, in Hamburg.
Yep.
And the upcoming
2018.
And then the first of 2018 in Genting, as well as the Katowice major in the end of February. So they would have 2 majors back to back.
Yeah, that'd be something.
So it might be difficult, but at the same time, it might also be really good. So again, it's kind of 50-50.
I would be willing to bet on, as a counter argument, that they wouldn't get 350, or depending on how much money they put up, 300,000, let's say.
Yeah, they put up 200,000 before.
Does Valve match your prize pool?
Valve matches your prize money exactly. So that's why you've got a couple majors that are actually like 1.5 million prize pool, because they put up 750,000 and Valve put up 750,000. Okay. So there's some limitations there. Valve's not going to let you put up $1 million or a $5 million prize pool, and Valve's not going to match that with another 5.
Probably
not. They did, say that they would be matching it, whatever it was, 200, 200, 300, 300, 500, 500. Because there's the 1.5 mil and a 1.2 mil. There's one where the company's putting up 600,000 and Valve is putting up 600,000 as well. So, again, I 100% agree. I think that they should not be like stressing about it, but I do know that if I was there, at the very least, I would have talked to the boss and been like, here's the pitch, and just waited to see what happened. Duh.
If I was the boss, I probably would have said no, because I wouldn't necessarily expect 300,000 extra dollars of value from it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I get that.
Return on investment wouldn't necessarily be there.
Yeah, I get it. And
I like that out of the box thinking.
Yeah.
I won't fire you.
Like that out of the box thinking, Jenkins. You're not fired yet.
Pretty much. So, anything else we want to talk about?
Nope, that's it for me.
All right, that's it for me.
Try to watch more Dota for next time. It's been crazy.
Yep. So, like, comment, subscribe. Tell us what you think about Galaxy Battles falling apart, and if we're wrong, and if you don't like it, then make sure to like it anyway, and take your thumbs down, and everybody have a great weekend.
If you don't like it, thumbs down it, because it's been proven because that actually increases engagement on the video. So we want likes or dislikes. Now, if you did like it, please like it. Don't just dislike it for the memes.
You could just like it for the memes instead.
There we go.
And if you thumbs down it, I hate you. So everyone have a good week. Since I said weekend, but it's Monday, so everybody have a good week. And make sure to check us out whenever we do our next video, which will probably be after Genting.
That would make the most
and
sense.
then, yeah, that'll set us up for Starladder iLeague Invitational 4, which will be a minor that takes place top of February. So, see you, everybody. Have a great one.